Hey Sarah, what's happening? How are you today? I can imagine it's not what you're going through is something like when I helped Andrew to go through mom passing away. Still one of the most roughest times of my life. It was horrible. I don't envy it. I saw the obit. Saw the obit. Uh, I think I saw it last night at work. What, three. Yeah, give me a heads up, like advance. That way I can set the time. Now that all the vacations are over with, things are starting to slow down, but I'm trying to keep myself from stacking those back up. I'd really rather have important times. Slash www dot itch dot tv slash. Oh, I'm not Steve Racer. Tactical Bacon 98. I'm also streaming to YouTube. Yeah, I didn't see anything in the obituary where you just said he wanted it to be buried at oh, um you know which one I'm talking. I'm trying to multitask, not working, and I'm out of rocket fuel. Out of rocket fuel. I need to go get some rocket. Why is it not showing me live? Oh, right there shows me live. Oh, I kind of look a little frumpy in this thing. That's the Facebook. Man. Oh. A post. They push it back another hour. They push it back another hour. Space cowboy, bet you weren't ready for that. I had a lot of Steve Miller bands. Alright, let's find out what happened. I'm gonna switch this feed anyways. Okay. Go feed for this launch. Still showing about 24 minutes till oh no, they did back it up. Shit. T0 is now 12:13. Well, shit. Well, we got more time. Go back to yeah.
It's time to feed the dogs real food, not highly processed pellets. The farmer's dog is
Facebook. Trevor! What's happening, buddy? My brother from another mother. Yeah, yeah. Edit my post in the group because Spacex just pushed it back 2 hours. So T0 is now at 12:13 p.m. We're looking at the feed, and I don't know why they pushed it back. Obviously, the pictures they're showing are not of the current launch site, which is I think SLC 40. This looks like the one of the couple of big ones. 39A. I'm probably talking gibberish to a lot of people, but 39A and 39B are the main NASA ones. SpaceX and like also, yeah, the fog is cleared out. I'm looking at Spaceflight Now. And their 1213 is a new T0. So oh, okay. Someone just posted that there are storms near the landing drone ship. So SpaceX, I'll pull up a weather radar right here. Go to Wonderground because they have the best radar. Why isn't Wonder app working? Keep. How do I get a full view here, bud? Probably under one. Dur. Station. I don't even know where the drone landing. So stage one of this rocket, since it's a SpaceX Falcon 9, they're going to land the first stage boosters back onto the drone ship, which are somewhere out in the Atlantic. I don't know where that is. Cape Canaveral is right here. Looks like they have pretty standard Florida weather down there. Clear, 86 degrees. I don't know. Space flight now still has theirs going. At 24 minutes before they go live, but if the they said yeah, it's backed up now to 12:13. Could be here for that. I don't know. Try. I don't have anything else to do today, so. Popping. I need more rocket fuel. I will be right back. This is Launch Alliance. I'm not putting it out there, but I applied for a position at Launch Alliance in Decatur, Alabama. Highly unlikely to get it, but in the chance that Alabama calls, I am going to go south to build rockets. They're looking for a aerospace production technician, where I will be welding, and CNC fabricating and general fabrication on certain aspects of the Vulcan rockets. So, like I said, it's highly unlikely that I get it, but it is a distinct possibility. And because what they're offering for that job, I can't pass. And since I'm already working in an aerospace environment, it helps my chances a bit. So, but like I said, it's highly unlikely that I get the job. It's I am very happy where I'm at SSP Fittings, making Spacex and Blue Origin and NASA fittings. But for a long time, rockets have been a passion of mine, and I'd really like to enjoy working on stuff that will leave this planet. So like I said, it's highly unlikely. I'm just very hopeful because I'm a nerd like that. So you this up. Yeah, there we go. Do you guys hear me okay? Okay, cool. I am going to go get me some more rocket fuel, which today is Black Rifle Coffee Company, just black with cane sugar and French vanilla creamer, because that's what my vibe is right now. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. I might play something. Since I now have 2 hours to kill. But maybe. Maybe not. Yeah, let that chill for a second, but that'd be good. That good. Definitely sounds windy down there at the Cape. I'll tell you that much. Alright, see what's on the news. Oh. Mission reports. Falcon 9. They're launching 21 satellites from the Spacex module today. So, from what I understand, to be from Pad 40, which is on the Space Force Station. They got my virus scan going. Threats. Hey Trevor, would you and some other people be interested in shooting off model rockets this year before the summer's end? Because Andrew's been talking about it, and I kind of want to do it, and thinking about going to Hobby Lobby and see what they got for rockets and putting a launch setup together. Because I remember doing that in 6th grade, and I freaking loved it. I so I'm streaming to YouTube as well. Not that I have any followers on YouTube, but still, it is what it is, I guess. Good coffee. This is the Vulcan Centaur from ULA. Hey, Legion's on. He might pop in here in a little bit. But good recent follower of mine. Big into Mass Effect. I've been playing Starfield. You've been commenting on that. This thing was acting up last night. This thing was not having a good time last night. Even right now, it's running a little on the warm side, but today seems to be running fine. Back to my Trevor, Facebook says we've only been friends for 6 years. I think it's been longer than that. We got ULA stuff coming. So, see if Spacex because I got anything on their website. Buy. I don't feel like getting any Blue Origin stuff because Jeff Bezos already gets enough of my money. SpaceX have a coffee cup? Yeah, Occupy Mars terraforming. Well, I don't really care. You got a pretty cool sticker pack, I'll say that. No, there goes the garbage truck. Make a shirt that just says SpaceX across the front. Although, oh, I got this. Switch this over real quick. Capture. I do kind of really like this Starman with the Tesla car that they shot out into space. Oh, right there. 30. You fucking out of your mind. I can make that at home, freaking Elon Musk. Screw that. $30. Get it low. Let's go to NASA shop. First, because I have a coffee addiction. Good drinkware. Alexa said it because I just dogged Jeff Bezos. Is that why I said no? Screw you, Alexa. Okay, I do like the Glenn Research mug because this is Glenn Research's website. Which my buddy Anthony. I like that. $10. Fuck yeah, we're definitely Add that to cart. Do they have just go to NASA's actual website? Not go there. Or shop. Johnson Space Center gift shop. Alright, so are you able to switch centers? Kennedy's a space shop. Boom. Okay, the oven mitts are kind of slick. How about I do this? $64-ounce hydration mug for $10. That's actually not too bad. That's all this stuff. This stuff that they probably also sell on Amazon. Where is the Glenn Research Center? Was that NASAshop.com? Yeah. Eddie Bauer. Let's put a thing up here. 0. -0. I got a lot of space for logos up here. Let's throw some logos up, why don't we? Obviously, I'm gonna go ULA logo. Save image. New image. I'm a fan of them. That out. NASA logo PNG. My Photoshop allow me to work today. Why doesn't Adobe just do freaking lifetime licenses? Whoa, 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 whoa. There. I don't use it enough. Look at that. Back to it is, even with the air. This computer is dumping heat into this room. Artemis logo. Error. Save image. You need a SpaceX logo, no? X. New LA. No. No, sir. We want USA. Yeah, you guys get to watch me do stream maintenance because they pushed back the launch. Supposed to be launched already. They pushed it back 2 hours. Spacex. Hey, look at this. Got dots on. NASA. Where's that meatball at? There it is. There's that meatball. No, put it back. Photograph. This photograph right here. Thank you. I am currently working on the Artemis project. Artemis. Find a better ULA logo. Launch Alliance. Try this. Yeah. Been over here neglecting my coffee. Oh, but now it is the perfect temperature. Mm-hmm. I'm not good. Oh, let's see if the other one is. No, they're gonna go live at 11:13. Well, let's watch some other launches from past. So, they had this.
Check this out.
Dude.
I'm going to show you how I afforded this car. Okay, you ready? All right.
6:45 a.m. Eastern at the beginning of our 3-hour launch window.
That was a bad bitch right there. Atlas 5. Boom. I know this is a playback. Good. I don't lie though, it's pretty. On. There we go.
Launch director.
Launch vehicle is ready for launch.
We have ignition.
You have permission to launch.
1 and liftoff. Liftoff of the United Launch Alliance Atlas V rocket.
Mach 1, execute, and we have an indication of spacecraft separation.
Good morning. I'm Ben Chilton, an ordnance engineer at ULA, and your host for today's live coverage of the Atlas V USSF-51 launch. I'm joining you from ULA's Advanced Spaceflight Operations Center at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida, where liftoff is scheduled for 6:45 a.m. Eastern at the beginning of our 3-hour launch window. In addition to watching our webcast, you can also follow live mission progress at ulalaunch.com. The count is currently in a 30-minute planned hold. We have 2 planned holds in our 7.5-hour launch count, which give our team additional time to resolve any issues prior to entering the terminal count. At this time, the team is not working any issues and we're proceeding towards an on-time liftoff. Live mission coverage will continue through payload fairing jettison, which occurs about 3 minutes after liftoff. ULA is proud to partner with the U.S. Space Force's Space Systems Command on the government's final launch of a national security space mission aboard an Atlas V rocket. USSF-51 will deliver critical capabilities to space for the security and prosperity of our nation and the world. Since 2003, Space Systems Command has conducted more than 100 launches, resulting in more than $90 billion in U.S. space capabilities successfully placed on orbit, making it the most successful launch program in the world. The Space Force extends its gratitude to the many men and women in and out of uniform who have contributed to the National Security Space Launch Program. ULA's Atlas V rockets have delivered important capabilities to orbits where they protect the security and prosperity of our nation and the world. Let's hear from notable Space Force leaders about today's monumental launch and the many people that have contributed throughout the years.
I just want to say thank you to all the men and women that have dedicated their blood, sweat, and tears to this program over the last 25 years. They have something to be extremely proud of. I've spent over 15 years in the launch business. I was a responsible engineer.
I had 3 jobs in the EELV program office. The first one, I was the Atlas V program manager. The second, I was the deputy system program director. And lastly, I was the program director for EELV.
I'm Bob Hotchkiss, Colonel, United States Air Force, retired. I've had the opportunity to serve as the Atlas V program manager from January of 2003 until May of 2005.
Hi, I'm Dr. Walt Lauderdale. My start in the program was as the Atlas V program manager as a lieutenant colonel.
Lieutenant Lauren Peterson. I am a government mission integration manager.
My name is Arian Elog. I am an Atlas V structures and pneumatics engineer.
Hi, I'm Captain Jansen Lee, and I am the avionics chief.
I'm Lieutenant Braun Cush. I've been working on Atlas Delta as a responsible engineer.
It's a really strong recipe, a combination of government, FFRDC partners in aerospace, contractor team, and then the technical experts. Just that recipe of success over and over and over again.
And I specifically focus on the avionics components and several subsystems of the avionics as a whole.
And our job is to make sure that on a day-to-day basis, we do everything we can within our means to be able to lower that risk as much as possible.
On day of launch, I come out here with my mission integration team. If there's anomalies that come up that are integrated between the space vehicle and the launch vehicle, we work those with the various teams to make sure that we can get to where we need to go.
As we reflect on the history of Atlas, the word that will probably constantly come to people's minds is workhorse.
I never really understood the power of the Atlas V. It's like the Ferrari of the launch vehicle systems.
My role in the Atlas, it was a unique opportunity. I ran the source selection that selected Boeing and Lockheed Martin, and from that point on, started the Atlas V contract.
I was the Atlas V program manager for our first launch, STP-1, back in 2007. So it's a great privilege now as mission director for the last NSSL launch with Atlas V.
We have launched almost 60 national security missions on this rocket. As we close down the Atlas program from a national security perspective, there's still upwards of 15 additional launches that Atlas will perform. It's kind of a bittersweet moment, but very excited for that final chapter in the Atlas history book.
ULA is using an Atlas V 551 rocket to launch the USSF-51 mission. Built in ULA's production facilities in Decatur, Alabama and Harlingen, Texas, this is the 101st Atlas V launch and ULA's 162nd mission. Let's learn more about this rocket.
The Atlas V rocket, once fully stacked, stands 196 feet and weighs nearly 1.8 million pounds fully fueled. At the base is the Atlas V Common Core booster, powered by an NPO Energomesh RD-180 engine. For additional thrust at liftoff, 5 Northrop Grumman solid rocket boosters, or SRBs, are attached to the rocket. Atop the booster is the ULA Centaur second stage, powered by an Aerojet Rocketdyne RL-10 C-11 engine. Spacecraft are encapsulated inside a protective 5-meter diameter payload fairing, produced by Beyond Gravity in Decatur, Alabama. With production complete, the rocket travels from Alabama to Cape Canaveral on ULA's rocket ship. Once in Florida, a series of events lead to today's countdown. The process begins by lifting the 107-foot booster onto the Mobile Launch Platform, or MLP. Next, we mate the SRBs. Then the Centaur second stage is transported to the pad and lifted into position. Lastly, the encapsulated payload fairing is lifted and mated to the Atlas V rocket. Once fully assembled, the launch countdown begins by moving the rocket from the Vertical Integration Facility, or VIF, to the pad. To complete this move, which spans about 1/3 of a mile, the rocket is transported by the MLP. Weighing in at approximately 2 million pounds, the MLP supports the rocket and contains air conditioning, electrical, and commodities lines. Throughout the 20-minute trip, rail cars lead the move, with the payload van providing spacecraft communication and the ground van providing support for the rocket. At the rear of the convoy is an environmental control system, which provides air conditioning to the payload and the rocket. Trackmobiles power the nearly 3 million pound convoy. With the rocket on the pad, the launch team then transitions to fueling and other final preparations.
Today's launch is ULA's 100th mission in support of national security. Let's hear more about ULA's commitment to defending our nation.
ULA is proud to serve our country and honored to launch our 100th national security mission. The importance of reliably delivering these missions to orbit is never lost on us. They keep our people safe by keeping an eye on our adversaries, delivering critical information to decision makers, providing communication capabilities across battlefields, on land, at sea, in air, and in space. Helping warfighters find their way on the front line and the home front, monitoring for missile threats, and testing and implementing new technologies that protect our country and our people. 100 national security launches, 100 missions we proudly enable. And we look forward to the next era of national security missions, launching atop ULA's high-performance Vulcan rocket.
Build custom industrial machines in days. Design your machine in the simplest online CAD. Get inspired by our public designs, or build your own in minutes. Program and simulate your machine directly in your browser. Build a broad range of automated equipment, no matter the complexity. Upon completing your design, review your bill of materials. Select shipping options and order. Receive your part kit within days. Assemble your machine using a single tool from beginning to end. Simple, quick, and efficient. Design your machine today. Receive it tomorrow.
Being able to have something to always protect myself with this Byrna allows me to have that peace of mind no matter where we're really at.
It provides you with peace of mind, not only that you can thwart the threat, but that you don't have to take a life in order to do so.
With the Byrna, you have the situation where now you're able to make yourself prepared for what might actually happen once you get there.
Of all the materials I use as a realtor, I feel like Byrna just fits in with all of that, and it's something that I don't think I'll ever need, but I'll be really glad that I have.
All communications switch to channel 1. All personnel and visitors remain in present position.
ULA's Atlas V rocket will head southeast from Space Launch Complex 41. Here's a look at today's ascent.
Generating a combined liftoff thrust of more than 2 million pounds, the RD-180 engine and 5 solid rocket boosters ignite to start ULA's Atlas V rocket on its trip to geosynchronous orbit. Shortly after liftoff, Atlas begins a pitch over to attain the proper flight path with an easterly heading while minimizing the dynamic pressure the rocket experiences during flight. Within the first minute of flight, Atlas V reaches Mach 1, the speed of sound. Within the next 2 minutes of first stage flight, the Atlas V rocket will quadruple its velocity, following jettison of the 5 GEM 63 solid rocket boosters. The USSF-51 mission is encapsulated inside a 5-meter diameter payload fairing, which is a sandwich composite structure made with a vented aluminum honeycomb core and graphite epoxy face sheets. Once the rocket has climbed above the densest part of Earth's atmosphere, the payload fairing is jettisoned, and the mission continues to its final destination, completing ULA's 100th national security flight.
Roger.
Before we continue, let's check in on today's weather. Space Launch Delta 45's forecast for this morning's launch is looking good. Here's Launch Weather Officer Arlena Moses.
That's right, Ben. We have a look at our infrared satellite here this morning over the past couple of hours that measures the temperatures of the clouds, with the brighter colors being our colder, higher clouds. And you can notice over the past couple of hours, all the area around our spaceport here has started to diminish, indicating clearing conditions. With the boundary that we were watching has moved off to South Florida. So that's why if we take a look at our forecast this morning, our lead launch weather officer has lowered our probability of any violations down to 10% here as we go into our T0, with a small concern for our cumulus cloud roll and light winds. So great weather for our launch this morning. Let's go, team. Back to you.
Thanks, Arlena. We remain in the planned 30-minute hold as we continue towards liftoff. In a few moments, launch conductor Scott Barney will pull the launch team for the final go to pick up the count. 29 engineers and managers are pulled for system status and readiness to proceed. This is the final status check for all Atlas vehicle systems, ground systems, spacecraft, and the U.S. Space Force Eastern Range. The vehicle system readiness pull includes electrical systems, hydraulics, pneumatics, propulsion systems, flight control, and propellants. Let's listen in as Scott Barney performs the final polling.
Minus 7 minutes. Status check to proceed with terminal count. Atlas systems, propulsion. Go. Hydraulics. Go. Pneumatics. Go. LO2. Go. Water. Go. Centaur systems, propulsion. Go. Pneumatics. Go. LO2. Go. LH2. Go. Has gas. Go. Electrical systems, airborne. Go. Ground. Go. Facility. Go. RFFTS. Go. Flight control. Go. GCQ. Go. Op support. Go. Com. Go. Umbilicals. Go. UCS. Go. Redline monitor. Go. Quality. Quality, net 1. Go. Op safety manager. Go. ULA safety officer. Go. Vehicle system engineer. Go. Anomaly chief. Go. Range coordinator. Clear to proceed. Launch director.
Launch vehicle is ready to launch.
Mission director.
This is the mission director. You have permission to launch.
Proceeding with the count. ALC, verified T0 is set for 10:45 Zulu.
Verified.
Polling is complete. The ULA launch team and the Space Force mission director are go for launch. From T-minus 4 minutes until launch, you will be listening to Scott Barney and his team performing the final steps in the countdown procedure. Several critical activities occur in the final minutes before launch, including verifying fuel tank levels and pressures in the booster and Centaur, and arming the flight termination system. At T-minus 25 seconds, you'll hear, "Go Atlas, go Centaur, go USSF-51." This is the final status check of rocket and payload readiness. At T-minus 3 seconds, the main engine ignites, followed by ignition of the solid rocket boosters. Then, after seeing Atlas V lift off the launch pad, you'll be hearing flight commentator Rob Gannon providing launch vehicle ascent data. This is Atlas Mission Control at T-minus 4 minutes and holding. We anticipate releasing the hold in just a few moments.
On my mark, the time will be T-minus 4 minutes and counting. 3, 2, 1, mark. $3:55.
Ground pyros enabled.
The countdown clock has resumed, and we are go for launch at 6:45 a.m. Eastern. With liftoff approaching, we're going to raise the volume on our launch team so you can hear the final preps taking place.
Three minutes.
Pressurizing Atlas tanks. Securing LO2 topping.
250.
FTS internal.
T-minus 2 minutes. The rocket, payload, ground systems, and eastern range are go for launch.
150.
Securing Centaur LH2.
Securing Centaur LO2.
If you just tuned in, I'm Ben Chilton, your host for today's live coverage of the Atlas V USSF 51 launch. At this time, the team is not working any issues, and we're proceeding towards an on-time liftoff at 6:45 a.m. Eastern.
Hi there and welcome to this video. In this video, I'm going to show you how to optimize and customize your shopping.
$120.
OCU's armed. FCS count started.
$115.
Produce CCS for launch.
Roger.
$110.
Vent valves locked.
$1 minute.
Rock, report
T-minus 1 minute.
Range green.
$40 seconds.
Stable at step 3.
Verify ECS reduced for launch.
Verified.
Status check.
Go Atlas. Go Centaur.
Go SF-51.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition and liftoff of the United Launch Alliance Atlas V rocket, carrying USSF-51 for the United States Space Force on ULA's 100th National Security Mission.
Hydraulics look good. We are throttling down in preparation for max Q. Is everything looking good? P is at closed loop control. And we'll program did complete on time. Mach 1. Vehicle's now supersonic. Engine continues to operate normally. SRB is burning normally. Everything looking good.
You are hearing the voice of Rob Gannon providing launch vehicle ascent data.
And max Q. We're throttling up post max Q as expected. Everything looking good, following the expected profile. SRB is burning normally. RD-180 operating expected throttle level. Everything looking good. Body weights look good. We have now throttle down in preparation for SRB burnout. We are now 50% of our liftoff weight. SRB is rolling off. And we have SRB burnout. 10 seconds to SRB jettison. SRB jet. All 5 SRBs successfully jettisoned the vehicle. RD-180 is throttled up and operating normally. Everything looking good. We're now 34 miles in altitude, 36 miles downrange, traveling at 4,200 miles per hour. Quick review of our range track. Vehicles proceeding right down the center of the range track. Everything looking good. And we did enable closed loop steering a few seconds ago. Everything looks good there. Next event we're looking for is throttling down to a constant 2.5 G limit for payload fairing jettison. And we've begun the throttle down, now holding a constant 2.5 Gs in preparation for fairing jet. And we fired the power valve, activating the reaction control system on the second stage. And we just passed through the von Karman line, 25% of liftoff weight. Ten seconds to fairing jet. We have fairing jettison. And CLFR deck jettison. And we throttled up the RD-180.
This is Atlas Mission Control at T plus 3 minutes and 38 seconds. We just heard flight commentator Rob Gannon confirm the successful completion of the early phase of today's flight, and all systems continue to operate nominally. At this time, we're going to end our live coverage. For more information about the Atlas V rocket, visit ulalaunch.com. I'm Ben Chilton, and thank you for joining us this morning. Before we sign off, let's take another look at the liftoff of ULA's 100th National Security Mission.
Oh, okay. Well, that was USSF 51. That was a couple weeks ago. I got goosebumps on that one. When I watched that live, it was pretty tits. I got that T-shirt coming. I don't know if SpaceX is going to have a live today or not. It'd be nice to get their launch commentary and stuff. Oh, good. There's going to be commentary. I might start me a 3D print. Extract all. Media file.
Dragon Ball Super card game.
Hey, live stream is live. There we go. Get that up full screen. Oh. Haven't had Cure open in a while.
Good morning and welcome. You are looking live at a Falcon 9 rocket on Space Launch Complex 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. SpaceX is counting down to the launch of the Starlink 8-3 mission. Right now, liftoff is scheduled for the end of today's launch window at 12:13 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 16:13 UTC for our viewers around the world. I'm Stephen Young, and I'll be providing commentary for today's launch. Will Robinson-Smith is on assignment. We're broadcasting live from the Spaceflight Now News Bureau here at the Kennedy Space Center press site. Be sure to follow the team on social media and keep up with their launch photography and reporting. Adam Bernstein was here before sunrise to set up our cameras and is getting ready to track the launch. Michael Kane is also with us this morning to shoot some still photography. We will also have tracking camera support from our friends Pete Carstens with MaxQ Productions and Chuck and Jen Briggs. We're now less than 53 minutes from the launch of this Falcon 9 rocket, which is carrying 21 Starlink V2 mini satellites. If you'd like to support our coverage of the space program, please hit the like button and click subscribe so you get notifications when new videos are posted and you won't miss any of our live streams. And also, please share this stream. It helps more people find our coverage and everything else going on with this channel. If you'd like to help improve and expand our coverage of the space program, we would love it if you would consider making a donation through YouTube's Super Chat feature or by becoming a member of our YouTube channel. Membership grants you access to our special members-only videos as well as discounts for our online shop, shop.spaceflightnow.com. We can't do these broadcasts without the support of our members and viewers, and we'd like to thank everyone who's made a contribution to help fund our coverage. We're now less than 15 minutes away from the point at which the launch director will give their go for the start of propellant load for today's launch. SpaceX is running the countdown from its launch control center, housed inside its Hangar X facility, located about 6 miles west of the pad. This building is also where the Falcon boosters are refurbished and prepared for flight. Today's launch will also be supported by teams at SpaceX headquarters in Hawthorne, California. Again, SpaceX is targeting liftoff of the Falcon 9 at 12:13 p.m. Eastern Time, 16:19 UTC. The original liftoff time today was 8:13 a.m., but SpaceX pushed that back several times, and 12:13 p.m. is believed to be the last launch opportunity for today. As usual, we have not had an explanation from SpaceX for this series of delays this morning. If for some reason the launch slips again, there will be another launch opportunity on Saturday morning at 8:50 a.m. That's 12:50 UTC. SpaceX is also planning another Starlink mission from Pad 39A on Saturday morning. SpaceX was hoping to take advantage of calm weather before the arrival of afternoon thunderstorms that are typical for this time of year in Florida. In a forecast issued yesterday, the 45th Weather Squadron predicted an 80% chance of favorable weather for launch at the end of today's window. The weather had been a little more favorable at the opening of the launch window. The remnants of Tropical Storm Debbie are moving north, and conditions out in the Atlantic in the booster landing zone could have been affected by that rough weather, but we don't know for sure the reason for the multiple delays to today's launch time. At the launch site, the main weather concern will be for the violation of the cumulus cloud rule. That's one of the many rules put in place to keep the rocket safe from a potential lightning strike. Yesterday, the Weather Squadron reported that the recovery weather represents a low to moderate risk. Just taking a quick look at the chat, like to thank Mitchell Wilbur for a $20 super chat. Really appreciate your support this morning. If you haven't done so already, please hit the like button. That really does help us out. This view of the Falcon 9 on Space Launch Complex 40 comes to us from our friends Chuck and Jen Briggs. Let's take a look at the countdown timeline for today's Starlink mission. Coming up at T-minus 38 minutes, the launch director will report the results of the go-no-go poll. That poll itself should be underway currently. It's performed electronically, so we do not hear the verbal calls that we often do during other rocket launches. If a go is given, propellant load will start at the T-minus 35-minute mark. That process begins with the loading of kerosene on the first and second stages, along with liquid oxygen for the first stage. At T-minus 16 minutes, it's the turn of liquid oxygen to start flowing into the second stage. Prior to this, we'll see the so-called big vent from the launch pad's strongback as the feed lines are chilled. Also, before that process gets underway, the loading of kerosene on the second stage will have been completed. At T-minus 7 minutes, the chill down of the 9 Merlin first stage engines will get underway. This involves the flowing of a small amount of liquid oxygen through the plumbing and turbo pumps. This will protect those engines from the risk of thermal shock and damage during the startup sequence. About 6 minutes prior to launch, the first stage kerosene tank should be full. Then, at T-minus 4.5 minutes, we'll see the strongback begin retracting from the Falcon 9 rocket. It will recline to an angle of about 1.5 degrees, leaning back ever so slightly from the Falcon 9. It will stay in that position until liftoff, when the strongback will pull away in a more rapid fashion to clear the way for the climb of the Falcon 9. In the final minutes of the countdown, at about 3 minutes before liftoff, the first stage liquid oxygen tank should be full. Then about 2 minutes before launch, liquid oxygen loading should be complete on the second stage. At that point, the Falcon 9 will be fully loaded with 1 million pounds of propellants. In the final 60 seconds of the countdown, the control will be handed over from the ground launch sequencer to the Falcon 9's onboard flight computers. The propellant tanks will be brought up to flight pressure. The SpaceX launch director will give their final go for liftoff. That's followed by the engine ignition command, which comes at T-minus 3 seconds. If all 9 of those Merlin 1D engines ignite and are deemed to be healthy, the flight computer will command the hold-down clamps to release the Falcon 9 for liftoff at T0, which once again is scheduled for 12:13 p.m. Eastern Time. T-minus 42 minutes and counting. That poll of the launch team over at Hangar X should be underway. As you can hear from the microphone noise, there is a little wind in the Cape Canaveral area. However, the sky is mostly clear, a few wispy white clouds. There are some potential storms brewing to the west between the Space Coast and Orlando, and the weather team will be keeping a close watch on those.
Oh, I'm back. Sorry about that. I was fiddling with the 3D printer. Now that's nice and cold. I got about 40 minutes to launch. That's promising.
With the countdown clock approaching the T-minus 38-minute mark, we're reaching the point at which the launch director should give a go for propellant load if all technical issues are resolved and any weather concerns in the booster recovery zone in the Atlantic Ocean have also cleared up. We're keeping an eye out for any word from SpaceX on the status of the countdown. We're about 2 minutes away from the point in the countdown where SpaceX would start loading propellants aboard the Falcon 9 vehicle. That process starts with the loading of liquid oxygen on the first stage and kerosene on both the first and second stages. That weather that was approaching from the west is triggering some lightning advisories here at the Cape. At the current time, those are Phase 1 watches, which means there is a chance of lightning in the area. However, they have not yet been upgraded to the Phase 2 lightning warning, which would require the need for any personnel working outside to take cover inside a building, as lightning strikes are forecast to occur at that point. T-minus 35 minutes and counting. That's the moment at which the loading of liquid oxygen should begin on the first stage and kerosene on both the first and second stages. Still awaiting word from SpaceX on whether they are proceeding with today's launch. Liftoff was originally scheduled for 4 hours ago at 8:13, the opening of today's launch window. It did push back that launch time to the current T0 of 12:13. We don't know for sure what the reason for that delay was, but with the remnants of Tropical Storm Debbie still moving up the East Coast, it's quite possible that the weather at that landing zone, about 250 miles east of Charleston, could be the problem today. And unfortunately, it does appear that SpaceX is not proceeding with today's launch.
Oh no!
All indications are that the launch is in fact scrubbed. We'll stand by, see if we get some official word. The propellant load was supposed to have begun about 2 minutes ago. This sets us up for an interesting possibility, as SpaceX was planning another Starlink launch from the Kennedy Space Center from Pad 39A, its other Falcon 9 launch pad. And if the launch does slip to tomorrow, we may be seeing back-to-back Falcon 9 launches from here on the Space Coast. Once again, if you're just joining us, we believe this morning's launch has been scrubbed. We are just awaiting confirmation of that from SpaceX. Liftoff had been scheduled for 12:13 p.m., which was the end of today's launch window. As you can see, we've seen no signs of the usual vapor that we would have expected were the super chilled liquid oxygen propellant being loaded aboard the first stage. Strong indication that SpaceX has in fact abandoned today's launch attempt. However, they not confirmed that publicly. SpaceX had a 4-hour launch window today. Tomorrow's launch window for this mission would open at 8:50 a.m. So I think at this point we are going to drop our countdown clock from the screen. While we await news of what exactly is happening with today's countdown. So if you're just joining us, expecting to see the Falcon 9 liftoff at 12:13 p.m., does appear that that will not be happening. SpaceX has not begun the loading of propellants aboard the Falcon 9. However, at this point, they've not officially confirmed that the launch is scrubbed for today. We're standing by in case there are any surprises, but this was the end of the window, and there were no more launch opportunities available today. They do have a 4-hour launch window tomorrow that opens at 8:50 a.m. Eastern Time. They also have plans to launch a Falcon 9 from Pad 39A here at the Kennedy Space Center. The launch window for the Starlink 10-7 mission, which is scheduled to fly from Pad A, opens at 7:27 a.m. Eastern Time. SpaceX did not explain the reasons for the shifts in this morning's launch time to the end of the window.
All right. On that note, I'm going to end stream.
However, we do
I could be doing today, so
believe that
I will talk to y'all later.
conditions in the recovery zone might have been a problem due to the aftermath of Tropical Storm Debbie, which caused a lot of flooding and damage in Florida.
I took a walk through this beautiful world, felt the cool rain on my shoulder.